Now Jack Hughes puts it around McCarr. United States with numbers. Back across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold.
Oh, we may talk about that game with the general manager of the Utah Mammoth, Bill Armstrong. Bill, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, man, you couldn't have scripted a better game for that than what we saw. and honestly, as a guy that just enjoys hockey, take the national pride out of that, whether you're Canadian or United States, and just focus in on the game. That was just a fantastic game on its own.
Well, you know, it's interesting watching the game because you've got some elite players, and sometimes they would just look average in the game. You know?
Yeah.
And the game was just moving at a speed I've never seen before. It was definitely played at a different level that day, and it was a beautiful thing. And it's great for the sport of hockey to see two countries like that go at it and play at that level. And, you know, it had to end some way, and the U.S. did a great job. And I'll tell you what, it's going to grow the game of hockey, not only in the state of Utah, but in this great country. It's going to blow it up, and it's a great thing. And I just thought about all the people that walked in for the first time, you know, to a Mammoth game and fell in love with hockey. Then they got to see, you know, the U.S. win the Olympic gold. It's a special thing, and there's definitely a fever. You can feel it around here about hockey.
Well, and that's the thing, too. We talk about the generational build, and there's a lot of guys like myself that had a kid you're watching that game with and goes, I want to do that. I want to be a part of that. And in the past, there was never really an avenue for a kid in Utah who would watch a game and be like, I want to do that. But now with a lot of the initiatives that the Mammoth have come up with, that new facility, we can find ways to get kids on the ice.
Yeah. You know, I was just here at our facility, and there's a big tub in the back, and it's got all the sticks cut for the kids to come in and play.
Nice.
You know, stick and puck. It's just a great thing. And I'm so excited to kind of help this new era of getting kids to play hockey in Utah. And you're going to see, you know, we're going to be, you know, 10, 15 years out from today, and you're going to see great young players coming out of Utah, great hockey players playing somewhere in the United States and Canada. So it's definitely going to grow the game. And I think Ryan Smith and Ashley Smith just did an incredible job at bringing hockey to Utah.
Okay, one of the big lightning topics after this game was 3-on-3. Where do you stand on that to finish a game in overtime?
Well, they got to have the Olympic ceremonies at some point, and that's usually the last game, so they got to get it over with. And 3-on-3 usually does that pretty quick.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't think it's completely fair, to be honest with you, but it is the way it is, and it's certainly exciting, and I think it ends games, and that's what 3-on-3 does, and it ended pretty quick.
My older brother is a dentist up in Idaho, and he said if you can find a way to message Hughes and let him know that I'd be willing to fix those front teeth for free, happy to do whatever. But when a guy takes a stick like that and gets knocked around and still goes back on the ice and gets the winner, it just shows you just how tough these guys really are.
It is, and it's a part of hockey, and I think there's a pride as a hockey player that you take a stick in the face or a puck, you know, and you get cut in your face, and it's the right passage that you have to go through to be a hockey player. You got to have some toughness, and I think people like that about hockey.
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing, is that they'll go down and block a puck that's solid, massive rubber coming at you, you know, 100 miles an hour. It's certainly you know, you gotta have some toughness to play the game, and it's a great thing. And I think when people watch the sport of hockey, they value that there's effort and there's toughness in the game, and I think it really came out in the Olympics. You know, some people losing some teeth, so it's a good thing.
Considering the discrepancy in shots on goals, how impressed were you with the goaltending in that game for Team USA?
Oh, Hellebuyck was incredible for USA. He was a brick wall there, and he was a man on a mission. And at the end of the game, Canada played parts of the game where they put it on the U.S., and the U.S. played, you know, well, in the sense that they knew they had a great goaltender that could make the save, and they just waited out for an opportunity, and they did that, and they capitalized. So I think it was a great game plan from the U.S., and I think their goaltender was absolutely spectacular.
All right, well, little time to celebrate. You're back at it. You got the Avalanche coming in. It's a 3-game homestand. Is there any concern that you have whatsoever about guys coming back in and picking up that momentum that you left off going into this long break?
It's a big concern, concern I don't sleep at night, thinking about, hey, are we going to get back to that level of urgency, back to that level, that mindset that we had before we left for the break. So it's certainly a mindset that you got to have, that killer instinct that you're going to go in there and get the points. And listen, at the end of the day, we think that 94 points gets you into the playoffs. So I think it's doable for us. I think we've got to find ways at home to get at least 19 points and go 500 on the road and drive ourselves into the playoffs. So I think for us, it's really getting that mindset to come back and go out there and fight for every single point for the next 25 games and find a way into the playoffs.
When you look at the Olympics and you look at, the fact that the Mammoth are even here in Utah, and then you throw in the Four Nations last year, throw in the Olympics, and then a potential playoff run, just how much does that affect this growing hockey community here in Utah?
Well, it does. I think when people first showed up and watched us play, they were like, everybody had a surprised look on their face, like, wow, they're not a bad team, and then expectations over time have grown in a good way, and it's a good thing. And they're like, hey, we can see the playoffs. We want this team to get in. That would be an incredible journey for this club to go down. And so we talked when I first came in, and we want to play meaningful games. And now we're in the point where we want to play meaningful games, but we want to win. We want to get into the playoffs, and we've talked about it from the opening interview I've done this season to right now, and now we're in a position to push to get in, and so it's an exciting time for the club, and it's there's pressure, but that's a good thing. We want to have that, Pressure is a privilege, and you got to earn that right to go through the season and to get in the playoffs. So we're right where we want to be. Now we got to drive ourselves in.
Probably over the last few weeks, when you're filling up the vehicle at a gas station or you're at a grocery store, whatever the case is, there's probably two things people have asked you. Number one, what do you think about Team USA? And then number two, Logan Cooley, Kerfoot, are they back? So I'll ask you the same. Are we close on those two guys?
Yeah, we're close on Logan Cooley. He's got a chance to play, and so does Kerf. So those are two great players that we've got a chance to add into our lineup right from the get-go. So right now it looks like it's on track. We'll see how it trends tomorrow, but we got a chance to have both those guys back in the lineup.
We talk about pregame, availability, and it'll be a game-time decision. When is your kind of point of no return on whether or not a guy's going to go? Will it be right up until near the start of the game, or will it be earlier in the day? When do you get a good vibe like, okay, we're good to go here?
Yeah, well, normally it's during, pregame skate that you have during the day. But you never know, and we're in a situation where we're coming back and guys are injured. I usually like to, look down and see warm up and see everybody healthy out and warm up and everybody's made it. And, that's when I usually say, okay, he's going to play tonight. So that's how I go about it. But, I'm a little bit different, but usually after the pregame skate's usually a good indication.
One thing I know, I'm going to ask you one more Olympic question, then I promise we'll put it to bed. But
all right.
When you've got a guy out there and when you played the game and it's a tense moment and, Team USA has got that 4-minute penalty opportunity, and then you get the high stick on Hughes, and all of a sudden that advantage goes away, and then you're disadvantaged for a minute. What's the feeling like when you're sitting in a box thinking, I may have just cost our team a gold medal? Like, I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. Like, I remember back in my day, I was playing for a national championship in Canada, and I took a penalty. And I just remember saying to the guys, because, we had to go in between periods, and I just said, if you guys kill this, man, I will buy dinner for everybody in this room. I will buy drinks. I will do whatever it takes, The seconds go by like hours when you're in there thinking that you could have cost your team a championship. It's certainly a long time, and you don't want to be the bad guy that that cost your franchise and your team a championship.
All right, you got the Avalanche right out of the gate. That wakes you up pretty quickly. There's no ramp up when you're playing the Avalanche. You got to be ready to go right out of the gate.
Well, absolutely. The best team in hockey's coming to play, and we can't wait. This is a great opportunity to prove how good we are. So, we don't we respect them. They're a great team. I don't think we like them a lot, but it's going to be a battle right through the get-go. So let's get back at it, and let's get off and play the best team in the National Hockey League.
I love it. Let's go. Hey, Bill, we appreciate it. Look forward to catching up with you again next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Bill Armstrong, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, one of the best dudes out there. We can't thank him enough, and I hope people understand how rare that is to have a general manager that's willing in any professional sport to come on a radio show once a week and talk about his team and ask and answer dumb questions. He's just phenomenal. It's really, really rare to see that, and we can't thank him enough for being kind and gracious enough with his time to be willing to do that. All right, so Avalanche coming up tomorrow. Cannot wait to see exactly where this team is at, because, frankly, if you were to give some truth serum to Bill and Coach Tierney and the rest of his team, they're like, we did not want to go on break. We did not want to have an extended amount of time off because that team was rolling, and they were one of the hottest, if not the hottest team in the NHL. And then all of a sudden, it's like you hit the brakes on it, and you wait 3 weeks, and then you bring everybody back. And at that point, you're like, okay, guys, that momentum we had, keep it going. Let's go. And it's just really hard to reignite that after this time off because some guys were working their tail off in the Olympics. Some guys were sitting on an island somewhere. Some guy was back at home eating mama's cooking. Like, there's a lot of guys who were in different situations, and now you have to reignite that kind of momentum that you had going into that break. Now, usually your all-star break, 4 or 5 days. The Four Nations was a little different. That was a little bit longer. But frankly, this is not common when you have that Olympic break for nearly 3 weeks. And now you've got to ramp up and you've got to be back where you were at. And it's going to be difficult. And then you throw in the fact that, and Lloyd, I don't know if you caught this, but it sounds like Logan Cooley's back. I mean, he didn't say it, but he kind of said it.
Yes.
And so you have to not only try to capture that momentum you had going into the break, then you also have to work in guys that, hey, frankly, they deserve to be in the lineup. There's no ramping in. There's none of that nonsense. You're like, okay, Cooley, go. Kerfoot, go. Like there's no element of let's just gradually try to dip our toe back in the water. These are two of your better players, especially Cooley. You throw them in the mix and say, let's go. And that's what it's all about with this Utah Mammoth team. Frankly, I think they keep it rolling. I would love nothing more than to see this team find a way to put it on the Avalanche tomorrow, get a W, get a point in that game, whatever it takes. Come away with a positive outcome, whether it's a point, whether it's 2, whatever the case is. You come away with a point against the Avalanche, and that signifies to your team you're still where you need to be. You still have that momentum. You're in great shape. You lose, and you're thinking, okay, what do we got to do to get right again? What do we got to do to capture that magic? And then guys start pressing, and you feel out of sorts. So that's what's so big about this game. And frankly, I love the fact that they're playing the Avalanche out of the gate. If you're playing a team that wasn't particularly good, and you had to try to mentally be ready, sometimes it's not that easy to do. I remember, I think it was Quinn Snyder, who was talking about his team coming back off of a long road trip. And the old adage in sports, whether it's baseball, hockey, whatever the case is, the first game at home after a long road trip, you don't usually play well. That's usually a game that sometimes gets circled as a loss because you just aren't ready to go after a long road trip and then playing at home for the first time. But I remember Quinn Snyder saying, and at that point they were playing the Cavaliers. Long road trip, a couple days off, and then you played at home against, and LeBron was on the Cavs at that time. And he said, I love the fact that we're playing LeBron and the Cavaliers in our first game back after a long road trip because mentally we have to be in a good place. We can't just show up and think that we're going to be okay. And the Jazz at that point, I mean, this was a team that was, thought of as being, a potential Western Conference Finals, NBA Finals team. Obviously, they didn't make it, but we're talking about Gobert and Donovan Mitchell years. So that was a good team. And they said, essentially, we needed the Cavaliers to be that first game coming out of the break because that allowed us to mentally be right. And I think the same thing applies to the Utah Mammoth here. When you've got the Avalanche, you have to be ready to go or you're going to get embarrassed. And this team, I don't think, is in a place where they need to be embarrassed. Come on. This is a good team here. Act like it. You're a playoff team. Act like it. That means the Avalanche show up. You may not win that game, but you punch them in the mouth. Maybe literally and figuratively.
Let them know you're here. Let them know you're here.
So, by the way, my brother did. I sent him a picture of Jack Hughes, and I said, like, how much work are we looking at here? And he goes, that's significant work. Now, there's a lot of work that's going to go on to give him those front teeth back. And he said, but look, for a little social media post, send him my way. I got it squared away.
You get it taken care of.
Yeah. So my brother, who's got himself a fine practice up in Burley Rupert area, Idaho, would be more than happy to be the official dental provider of Team USA. I think we can make that work.
Let me ask you this, Scotty, because we were actually having this debate in the bullpen earlier, and I think it's probably the Jack Hughes one. What is your most? And it probably is Jack Hughes. This is probably a non-question, but okay, the Jack Hughes photo with the American flag draped over him, missing tooth, missing teeth, or the like. Say you own and you only get to have one. You own a sports bar, and you're like, I want to put all these an iconic photo up. Is it that? Are you putting that one?
No, it's the one where the overhead shot of the save.
That's what I said.
That's what I go with, yeah.
And everybody else was saying the American Jack Hughes, and I'm like, I get that one's really good. I understand the blood. I love it. But that overhead of the Hellebuck save is so great.
No, that's
got to be in every sports bar, whatever. Your sports room that you have at your house. You're a big hockey fan. That's what's up in your room.
Hey, I'm not even a big
American flag helmet, up above. It's so good.
I'm not I'm learning hockey. I love hockey, but I am not a lifetime hockey fan. All right. This is something that I've had to learn over the last couple of years. Like most people here, I grew up, we didn't have hockey available. I've never put skates on. I've never actually been on ice as a skater. So that's because it's not because I didn't want to. It just wasn't available for the first, 35, 40 years of my life. And so I don't have that background with hockey. So I'm not necessarily decking out my home office with hockey memorabilia or hockey pictures. You can guarantee that picture will be blown up and framed in my office because I think that is one of the most iconic photos in sports history. You got that one with Muhammad Ali standing over the guy with mid swing.
We've seen that picture of the American flag draped over somebody, and we've seen that. But that one was just. I'm glad you said it because some people looked at me like I had a third arm growing out of me. I was like, really? I was like, I feel like that's it. It's like, no. That is it.
That is 1,000% it. It's a great question to have, but honestly, I get the broken teeth and the flag and rah, rah, go America. I'm all about it. I'm patriotic as the next guy. But I also think when you talk about an individual play that had no business being made by that guy and to be able to go and have Jay Stevens break it down and the amount of strength to have that stick behind you and still be able to ward off the momentum of that puck, that to me is what that gold medal game was all about. That view of that was just like, okay, that sums up the entire game because Canada was taking shot after shot after shot. Bill Armstrong's mentioning is like, there was good stretches where Canada was putting it on us. And the goaltending was there to be like, you know what? I got you guys. You can take some chances because it's like back in the day when Quinn Snyder would funnel everything to Rudy Gobert. Rudy's like, let's go. They may get one or two on me, but I'm going to block more than they're going to get on me. And that was the case in this game. I mean, he was absolutely the star of the show. He should have been. I meant to ask Bill about that too, if he agreed with the MVP going to McDavid instead of Hellebuyck. Because honestly, if you're looking at a player that actually won the gold medal for his team, there you go. You can't give it to McDavid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with you on that. I thought it was definitely Hellebuyck. What he did in between the pipes was spectacular.
All right. So let me guess. Jake Hatch wanted the American flag picture in the debate.
No.
Was it Maddie?
I think Maddie was on that, and so was
A good majority of the people in there?
Yes, a good majority of the people, yes.
All right.
All right. Good majority.
We got a lot of people running through there.
Good majority of the people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah,
All
absolutely.
Right. But no, I look forward to finding that picture somewhere on the internet, blowing that sucker up, and framing that. Because to me, that's what sports is all about. I mean, the individual performance at the highest level and the one play you have to make. Now, granted,
that was the play of that was of the Olympics in general.
That was it, right there.
It really was.
Yep, that sums up the entire Olympics because that's a guy that there was, and Jay Stevens, I thought, really broke it down well. You know, not only the strength, but there's also an element of, oh bleep, I'm just going to have to put my arm back there with that stick and just pray that I'm able to deflect that thing away. I mean, there was a lot of skill, a lot of strength, and then also a little bit of like, all right, I got beat, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try. I don't know how it's going to go, but let's just hold on for dear life and pray that I'm able to get some contact on this thing and deflect it away. And sure enough, he did it. He needed the strength, he needed the skill, and he needed the training. And let's not overlook the fact that sports comes down to a little bit of luck as well. And that's exactly what happened. That sums all of it up in one play. Yeah, that's your signature moment. That's your photo moment. And whoever got that photo, that dude needs to win, Pulitzer. I don't know. What do they hand out for pictures? Whatever award. Whoever got that one, and it probably wasn't even somebody. It was probably just a still camera with a shot down there.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what got it.
Okay.
I would like to
credit.
to think that somebody was hanging over there.
Hey, you know what?
But hey,
the Olympics, they got. I mean, I was watching guys in warm-ups with, that had a camera on them that was weaving through pregame skate. I'm like, dude, these guys, you make one wrong move and they're going to blindside you. You're done. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Believe it or not, this guy actually has friends.
Nice.
This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, Lloyd, where is attending spring training on your, bucket list? I mean, obviously, it's not a huge event. It's not like going to the Masters or something like that, but
it is up there.
How appealing is it to be able to spend a few days down in Florida or Arizona and just watch games?
It is something I have never done, and it's not up there with the Masters, as you said, but I would say it's up there because you just get to watch a lot of baseball in a short amount of time. Like, it's just all day baseball. I think I would say it's pretty high up on
quality baseball, though.
Good baseball, yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
Is it like you're watching preseason NFL?
It's the it's more. I think you actually get all the players because obviously it's not the physicality that you see in the NFL. So you are getting guys, and you have getting guys that are trying for roster spots as well. And I think it's spectacular baseball that's being played.
All right.
Yeah, it's up there. And I know our guy PK, he does it all the time.
Well, I think that's where PK is at right now, right?
I think so.
Yeah. One of his many vacations.
Many vacations. So many.
By the way, I'm going to catch a plane after this show, head right on over to the airport, and Utah State will take on, speaking of warm weather, we'll be in San Diego tomorrow.
That sucks. That sounds terrible.
I know, doesn't it?
Gosh.
Hey, look, I'm due. I've been to Laramie.
Life is rough.
I've been to Laramie. I've been to Fresno. I've been to Reno.
Wait, are you saying putting Fresno in there like that's a horrible place? It's not that bad.
No,
Fresno.
You know what? My power rankings of Mountain West Conference cities, San Diego's number one.
Not if you just put Fresno with Wyoming.
Okay, well.
Are we talking about the people? Is that what you're
saying?
Okay, I'm just wondering.
All right. So number one is San Diego. Number 2 probably is Fort Collins. And I would say that because the city's great. You got everything you need there. But the problem is you either have to make sure you're on the team charter or you have to go into Denver and then drive up.
Okay.
I would say Colorado Springs is number 3 because it's really easy to get to. I was doing the play-by-play thing for a lot of years and flying into Denver and then driving down to Air Force, when in reality, Colorado Springs actually has a pretty nice little airport you can get in and out of. So I would probably put that number 3. Fresno is number 4. Yeah. Good food. Great food in Fresno.
Great barbecue, I hear.
Great tri-tip sandwich.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to make fun of Fresno. I actually enjoy it. I'm glad that Utah State's in the same conference with them. Albuquerque probably is.
Did you, by the way, I never followed up with you. Did you actually get out and eat? You did not.
I didn't.
There
was a reason.
There
I can't
wasn't
remember.
a reason.
No, there was a reason.
The reason is you. You're the reason.
I was afraid
you're the problem.
I was trying to just kind of sweep that under the rug. Yeah, I didn't.
I've been meaning to ask you, and I kept forgetting, and I was like, I need to ask him. And thank you for reminding me.
My hotel was haunted.
I know.
You had to be careful about it.
So that's why, because you wanted to hang out in the haunted hotel.
Yeah.
No, that's not the reason.
No, when you I told this story.
You can't even think of what the reason is.
I can't remember what it was. It was a good, authentic reason.
It was nothing.
It was.
You have no reason.
Okay.
Other than apparently you don't like good food.
Yeah, these days, just give me a good protein bar and I'm good. Like I don't get out as much as I used to.
And a nice
little
drink, a nice heart crusher.
Oh, would you stop? You don't need to besmirch the good name of Rockstar energy drinks.
Hey, I have one every once in a while. Nothing wrong with it. It's all good.
Me too.
No judgment.
I have one once in a while.
Like 5 a day?
No, not that many. It's probably when my 14-year-old's giving me grief about it.
Just the other day, I saw you wearing a Monster hat, like you're sponsored.
Okay, that has not happened, but I'd be willing to. Let's go.
You're like a motocross rider.
Just hit me up and we'll find a way to get you on board. I'll endorse the heck out of that for you.
I know you will.
Just for product too. You have to pay me. I'm down for whatever. We're good to go. All right. Laramie's at the bottom of that list. And
as it should.
Yeah. Reno's next to the bottom too. Reno's a tough city, man. Everybody gives grief to Albuquerque because of Breaking Bad. Reno's.
Well, the fact that Johnny Cash went there and shot a man to watch him die.
Yeah.
That tells you all you need to know.
All right, quick little housekeeping. We've got a bunch of stories we've not had a chance to get to, like the old school roulette wheel. Let's hear from Lindsay Vonn as she got injured. We all saw she was injured. She got they brought in the helicopter. They choppered her out of off the slopes. But she unveiled how bad that injury really was, and it wasn't pretty.
Basically, I had a complex tibia fracture. Also fractured my fibular head, my tibial plateau, just kind of everything was in pieces. And the reason why it was so complex was because I had compartment syndrome. And compartment syndrome is when you have so much trauma to one area of your body that there's too much blood and it gets stuck. And it basically crushes everything in the compartment. So all the muscle and nerves and tendons, it all kind of dies. And Dr. Tom Hackett saved my leg. He saved my leg from being amputated. He did what's called a fasciotomy, where he cut open like both sides of my leg, kind of filleted open, so to speak, let it breathe, and he saved me. And I always talk about everything happens for a reason, but if I hadn't torn my ACL, which I would have torn anyways with this crash, if I hadn't done that, Tom wouldn't have been there. He wouldn't have been able to save my leg. So I feel very lucky and grateful for him, for this 6-hour surgery he put in on Wednesday to rebuild it, which went amazingly well. But I was in the hospital a little longer than I had hoped because I had a very low hemoglobin from all the blood loss of all the surgeries. I was really struggling. Pain was a little bit out of control. And I had a blood transfusion, and that helped me a lot. I turned the corner, and now I am out.
And she would go on to say that she's still in a wheelchair because she broke her ankle too.
They filleted her leg.
They filleted her leg. That compartment syndrome is no joke.
Right.
Yeah, that's no joke. Obviously, tons of trauma to that leg and to the knee and everything else that went in there. But I've heard people lose limbs because of compartment syndrome. That's a rough go of it. And to think that, that just shows you the speed and athleticism that goes into that event. And when one thing goes wrong, you could end up losing a leg off of that. Just unbelievable, the amount of trauma that she went through on that. And I think we can safely assume that her skiing career is probably done at this point. But, hey, at least she can walk. She has some quality of life that will be afforded to her coming off that injury. All right, let's go to – now, we've been talking about Darryn Peterson a little bit. And, again, this is kind of our shotgun approach to a segment here where we got a bunch of different topics we haven't had a chance to spend much time on. We have talked a lot about Darryn Peterson and the fact that we don't really know what's going on. He'll take himself out of games. He'll miss long stretches of a game, won't play halves of a game. And at first, Bill Self was very, very much like, hey, look, the guy's injured. The guy's done with a hamstring. Back off. And now even Bill Self is like, hey, we got to get this figured out. We got to figure out what's going on here. We got a tournament coming up. We can't mess around with this anymore. So even he's getting a little bit on edge. And Darryn Peterson had a conversation with the media afterwards.
Somebody's had something to say probably after every game this year, so I don't really pay attention to it anymore. I don't know. I've kind of been a antisocial loner my whole life, kind of, so I kind of just deal with it on my own.
I've been an antisocial loner most of my life. All right. It only takes one GM or two GMs to have somebody fall in the draft. And I thought Ben Anderson brought up a really good point earlier about Ace Bailey. You had a few GMs that were a little concerned about his representation, the fact that he wouldn't work out for teams, and he ends up falling in the draft. He may have been able to go number 2, number 3, and said the Jazz have him at number 5, and the Jazz couldn't be happier. Good young man, got right with his representation, and looks to be a key piece of this Jazz organization for many years to come. So he was misidentified, no doubt. Peterson, on the other hand, is he being misidentified? Is this going to hurt him in the draft? The guy has got a skill set that should have him number 1 and not even a remote possibility of him falling in the draft. That's how skilled he is. The comparisons to Kobe Bryant are real. He's got the opportunity to be an elite top 2, top 3 player, if not top 1 player in the NBA. Multiple MVPs. That's the skill set he brings to the table. But if you're a GM out there and you've seen his body of work at Kansas and you hear the comments about being an antisocial loner and you want to bring a guy into your locker room and you still have other really good players available. You got A.J. DeBonce, who's busting his butt playing 40 minutes night in and night out and carrying a BYU team. You got the Boozer kid who's off to a tremendous start of his young career at Duke. You've got all these players out there that are really, really doing everything they can for their team. And then you got this guy who calls himself a loner and has removed himself from games. How much of a red flag is it? Because I think there are a number of GMs that'll be like, you know what? We're not comfortable with that. And then there's others that'll be like, we don't care. We do not care one bit. It's absolutely worth it. To have that kind of generational talent, we 1,000% don't care about how long he's playing, what he's taking himself out of. We don't care. He can be a loner all he wants. He can not talk to a single soul as long as he goes out there, scores 30 points a game, and helps us win games. That's all that matters. I still think he's number 1. I still think whoever has the number 1 overall pick will pick him. Although, I will say, let's just say for the sake of argument, Lloyd, that the Jazz actually do get the number 1 pick. And you got Peterson available. You got A.J. DeBonce. A.J. DeBonce has become a crowning jewel in the state of Utah for so many BYU fans out there. And here's a guy that obviously ties high school to the state of Utah, chose to stay in Utah to play college. And you're worried about, is this guy going to be here for a long time? Well, guess what? You're not going to find somebody who has the capability, or at least the potential of staying in Utah for a long time, more than A.J. DeBonsa.
He's already leaned into the community.
Yeah, he says his favorite class at BYU is the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This kid's made for the state of Utah. So if the Jazz have the number 1 overall pick, do they go DeBonsa? And you got Keontae George already. I think they do.
I think so,
I think
too.
AJ's the number 1 pick. All right, 247, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up next, we'll wrap up this show, put a nice little tidy bow on it, get you ready for JJ and Alex. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You're listening to Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hope you're all having a tremendous day. The week is now, well, we're coming up on Wednesday. By the way, we will be at RGS Exteriors coming up, and always good chat with Tim and the crew out at RGS Exteriors. So here's the deal. Plan on us talking to RGS, and coming up on, I believe, is it tomorrow or Thursday? Thursday we'll be live at RGS, so make sure to stop by, or better yet, just call the guys down at RGS. If you need a exterior of your home addressed, or you got some rain gutter issues, whatever it is, man, if it's on the outside of your home, they'll get you squared away. RGS Exteriors, Tim and the crew ready to help you out. Again, coming up on Thursday, we will be there. All right, wrapping up another edition of what has been a fun show today. Big thanks to Bill Armstrong, who joined us. Big thanks to Mitch Harper, also Kurt Heelan, and Ben Anderson. If you missed any part of the show, all you have to do is go to KSLSports.com or just search Scotty G and Friends, and you'll find it on your podcasting platform of choice. Look, I know I'm not a big fan of the name either. We're going to find our guy. We'll rework the name. It's going to happen. Just be patient. Hang in there with us.
You're starting to like it a little bit.
No.
I can see it.
Stop it.
You're not as humble as you once were.
Oh, no. We cannot get that name changed fast enough. Very narcissistic. I'm not.
To think you wanted the Scotty G show. Jeez.
I did not. I wanted
It's okay. Hey,
I
whatever,
wanted,
man.
I wanted the Lloyd Cole show with Scott Gerard.
Right. I remember how that conversation went. You shot that down quickly.
I didn't shoot. Well, okay.
Kidding.
All right.
I'm telling you what. I'm getting people left and right today.
Yeah, you are.
I'm getting people. I'm just having some fun today. I'm loose.
All right.
Having a good time.
Should we talk about hockey teams? Who's going where? Who's getting invitations? Who's not getting invitations?
No, I don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that?
I don't want to do that.
You can bring that up in your meeting later.
I'll bring that up in the meeting. I'm just kidding. Come on.
No,
I don't mean it.
See, that's the thing about Lloyd Cole. He only hurts the people that he likes.
Absolutely. There's so much truth to that.
If Lloyd's not trying to get under your skin, he doesn't like
Hey,
it.
if I see you fishing with me a little bit, I'm going to get you a little bit. I'm going to get you.
Yeah. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.